Apocalyptic scenes in New Mexico tonight where not one but two major wildfires are raging, forcing evacuations of an entire town. And this is just one piece of the severe weather impacting millions across the country this week. I'm Gadi Schwartz, and this is Stay Tuned Now. A dire situation is playing out in New Mexico right now as the South Fork fire and the Salt fire continue to burn tonight with not 1% of either fire contained. New Mexico's governor has declared a state of emergency, forcing evacuations of thousands in the village of Ruidoso as the fire and the plumes of smoke get dangerously close to dozens of homes and businesses. Now, so far, it's burned more than 15,000 acres since yesterday morning. Meanwhile, back here in California, wildfire season is well underway as firefighters across the state are battling more than 2,000 wildfires, both big and small, according to state fire officials. The Post Fire near Los Angeles is the state's first major wildfire of the year, burning more than 15,000 acres. Meanwhile, that sweltering heat dome that sat over the West Coast a couple of weeks ago is now leaving 76 million people under heat alerts from Iowa to Maine till at least Friday. Several cities could see more than 5 straight days of 90 degrees or hotter, with temperatures soaring up to 25 degrees above average. And to top it all off, we're also keeping an eye on a system churning in the Gulf Coast that is very close to becoming the first named tropical storm of hurricane season. Our team is tracking it all. NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns is standing by with the forecast. Mara Barrett is out in Chicago. But first, let's go to NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson in Gorman, California. And Steve, we're going to talk about the destruction behind you in just a second. But if you don't mind, I'd love to turn to New Mexico first. I know that there are 2 massive wildfires right now, 0% containment, right? What's the latest with firefighting going on out there?
Yeah, the fire I'm standing at now is certainly one of the largest fires that is burning, but that fire in New Mexico has to be one of the most concerning fires. You've got a community there that is literally pincered between 2, as you mentioned, very large fires. We just got an update from the governor now saying at least 500 structures have taken some damage, burned in some way. They're trying to get crews in there to figure out exactly what the damage is. 2 people injured, non-life-threatening injuries, sound like minor injuries. But this is very concerning because it sounds like fire conditions are still very, very poor there. The wind's still picking up. The fire's still pushing forward. New communities even being evacuated as we speak. So the governor very sort of dramatic about her statement about you have to evacuate. They have about 5,000 people under mandatory evacuation just in that little community, pincer between those fires. Those fires between them, 20,000 acres, 0% containment, a very dangerous, very volatile situation that's unfolding as we speak there. Gadi?
I spent a lot of time in Ruidoso, and it is one of the most beautiful mountain towns I know. We're praying for them tonight. Also here in Los Angeles, I mean, Steve, you're way far away from us right now, and yet we are waking up here in Los Angeles with a layer of ash on our cars. Are things a little more under control here in California, or does it also seem like we're sitting on a ticking time bomb?
Yeah, I heard that report from my wife. We're about an hour away from L.A. We live in L.A. She saw ash on our mailbox. You may be able to hear that saw in the background. That is firefighters pushing this fire back. They're trying to clear out as much vegetation that may lead to anything that could lead to a spot fire, so to speak. They've really pushed this thing far back. It is certainly much better fire conditions than there were, let's say, yesterday. We went from 8% containment yesterday to now 24% containment. I can see Interstate 5, it's the major thoroughfare. If that were to go over I-5, that would mean it's going toward houses. It's actually going now in the opposite direction. Firefighters have a good perimeter around it. They're pushing it into the forest. The problem with pushing it into the forest is that it is harder to get a hold of. It's like the further you push it away, the harder it is to get to. It is very jagged, very rugged terrain. They have to use airdrops to really get a hold of it. I spoke to the fire captain about how difficult this is because of the terrain. Here's what he told me.
The firefighting has been challenging. The terrain's really rugged, difficult to get to. This fire is a wind-driven fire. So we've seen spots up to a mile far from the actual fire. But we're doing our best to contain the fire with line.
This fire is still more than 15,000 acres, but again, crews doing everything they can with the erratic wind, which I can feel picking up as we speak. Gadi?
Thanks, Steve. Let's turn to NBC News correspondent Mara Barrett in Chicago for more on the extreme heat hitting the Midwest and the Northeast. Mara, it looks like this heat wave is going to be dangerous. It's going to be long. Do you think people are ready for that?
They're trying their best, Gadi. Quite frankly, here in Chicago and across the Midwest, we're not used to feeling this humidity, let alone these high temperatures, until August. And so this is coming way earlier. People, as you can see behind me, flocking to the beach still, even in the evening hour, to try to get in the water, feel the lake breeze, really cool off. The city has opened cooling centers and is really warning people to try to stay as hydrated as possible, safe as possible, seek shade where they can. A fire official earlier today warning folks, if you're getting in the water, it's still important to remember to stay hydrated because you're still in that direct sunlight. So even if you're chilling off in the 65-degree lake water right now, you still have to make sure you're thinking about that. It is something that people are anxious about. One person I talked to said he's concerned that summers are getting hotter and hotter, earlier and earlier. But across the board, as we're at the beginning of this heat wave, people are welcoming the summer weather because, for reference, it was pretty chilly at 60 degrees this weekend. So a stark difference. But we're just at the beginning of this expected 7 to 8 day heat wave, Gadi. So it's a long way coming still.
It's always so wild to see the beaches of the lake there when you know that during the winter, a lot of those beaches are like frozen over. So such a juxtaposition. Speaking of signs of the times, there is a new petition that caught our eye that's requesting FEMA consider extreme heat as well as wildfires as major disasters. We've seen wildfires as major disasters, but extreme heat, do you think that as we continue to see hotter summers, is this something that we could see happen a lot?
Yeah, Gadi, scientists point out that extreme heat is actually more deadly than any of the other of the natural disasters that we tend to cover, killing double the amount, more than double, than tornadoes and hurricanes, for example. And researchers are also quick to highlight the fact that the reason we're seeing this extreme heat earlier in the season and for longer durations of time is directly tied to human-caused climate change, that rise in carbon emissions. And so something like FEMA allocated federal funding to combat the heat disasters, as these groups are calling them, would mean that cities like Chicago could have more money to invest in more cooling centers, prepare schools and other public buildings with air filtration systems. In the time of a big heat wave like this, allocate money towards handing out more water or increasing electricity use, which is needed for that air conditioning. So we reached out to FEMA to see what they might say about this. They kind of punted to the states for saying that they're going to need to request that funding specifically. They said what we're focused on is the increase in preparedness and increasing resilience at both the community and the individual level to be more prepared for the heat as it arrives. And that's something that we've heard time and time again from the Biden administration and its agencies about the need to invest, and they are investing in mitigation and resilience efforts in infrastructure, for example. So all of that is getting off the ground as we're seeing more and more of these climate events, Gadi.
Yeah, a reminder that it is such a silent, slow, and dreadful disaster. Mara, thank you. And let's bring in NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns. Bill, we're seeing very hot temperatures coast to coast, sparking wildfires out here in the west, extreme heat alerts out in the east. What should people expect over the next few days?
The west is going to be kind of typical warm, and then the east is still extremely warm and record-setting in the next 2 days in many cases. We still have excessive heat warnings: Detroit, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Pittsburgh, and how about our friends in New Hampshire all the way up into southern Maine, of all places. The heat index, even at this hour, as the sun is setting in the east, still 95 in Albany. Syracuse felt like 104 today. It was one of the warmest spots in the entire country. And Syracuse is typically one of the spots that usually, leads the nation in the most inches of snow. So pretty extreme stuff here in northern portions of New England. Now, as we go throughout the day tomorrow, more of the same. We should see many heat indices in the 90s. A few spots like Detroit could get above it. Syracuse, again, could be one of the hotter spots in the country. Same with Boston. New Hampshire today, we had a record high of 96 degrees in Manchester. So that's like pretty unheard of. And as we said, it goes on and on through the end of the week. And then as we head towards the weekend, near 100 in St. Louis. This is just the regular temperature. Near 100 in Atlanta. Fayetteville should hit 100 on Sunday. And Philadelphia in the upper 90s, Gadi. So really no end in sight. And unfortunately, here's the map as we go throughout June 24th to June 28th. So this is next week. Look at this, just coast to coast, everyone above average.
Scorching. And when we're looking at that potential tropical cyclone in the Gulf Coast, how worried are you about that?
If we can get through the next 48 hours without too much flooding, I think we'd all be good. South Texas, by the way, is in a minor to moderate drought, so they actually need the rainfall. The ranchers would love the rain. They just don't want to get too much that they have flooding with it. So it's a huge system. It's just not very strong. You can see we have rain all the way up here approaching Galveston and up by Lake Charles. The storm itself should become Alberto tomorrow afternoon. It will go into Mexico. Winds will not be enough to do any damage, but we do have flood watches up because if we can get enough rainfall in certain areas, even with the drought, we could see the potential of 8 to 10 inches of rain in isolated spots near Corpus Christi, Gadi. That's the problem if we get isolated flooding, and it would happen late tomorrow night, most likely.
And then in all this heat, there was a freeze warning in parts of Oregon and Northern California. Like, how?
It was snowing in portions of the northern Rockies. So, yeah, we have a wild country when it comes to weather. We're so big, we're so diverse. Often when it's hot in the east, it's cool in the west. This time it was in the northern Rockies. These are the current temperatures. If you're visiting and vacationing right now in Yellowstone, I hope you brought the warm clothing. It's 43 degrees in the middle of the afternoon. So this is a pretty cold air mass. And once the sun sets, we have frost alerts in place in areas of North Dakota, northern Nevada, and a little portion here of Idaho. So, yeah, chilly. If you're doing some early summer vacationing and going to be camping in a tent, it won't be fun, Gadi. It's bundle up time.
Yeah, double up on the sleeping bags, Bill. Thank you so much.
All right.
And today, President Biden is dropping a new immigration policy which would protect undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens. Now, this only applies to people who have been in the states for at least 10 years and any children they have, but it would create a path to permanent residency. And the White House is framing it as a way to, quote, keep families together. NBC News correspondent David Noriega joins us now. David, can you walk us through this executive action? I mean, how many people are going to be affected here?
Yeah, so the first thing I've been pointing out is that this isn't something that's just granted to people. There's a very long and probably pretty arduous application process. People have to jump through a lot of hoops, file a lot of paperwork. It's a limited universe of people this applies to. You have to prove that you have lived continuously in the U.S. for at least 10 years, but a lot of these are going to be people who've lived here for a lot longer, 20 years, even more, that you were married to a U.S. citizen as of yesterday. So that means you can't rush to the courthouse this weekend to get married to avail yourself of this program. Those are kind of the main requirements. It also applies to children of such people. Now, some of the people that this applies to are actually relatively young people who are DACA recipients who married U.S. citizens. There's some overlap in those populations. Our colleague Julia Ainsley actually spoke to one DACA recipient who is planning to apply to this program today. Here's what he had to say. Take a look.
An action like this has been way overdue. People said the same thing about DACA, that it wasn't necessary, that it was overstepping. And DACA has turned out to be a very successful program. So I don't see it as a bad thing. In fact, I see it as life-changing in a positive way for hundreds of thousands of families and people. America is going to be stronger because of this.
I've been covering DACA since pretty much when it started, and one thing that you hear constantly from DACA recipients is that as grateful as they are for the protections and the ability to work legally, it always felt very fragile, very tenuous, like it could go away at any moment. This is different because it removes obstacles for people to get actual green cards, legal permanent residency, and ultimately citizenship. That's not something that once it's in process can really be taken away. That can change, truly change, not just a lot of individual people's lives, but families' lives, households, entire communities can be changed by this if it actually goes through.
If it actually goes through. This is something that a lot of people in the community have been calling for years and years and years. The timing is kind of not lost on us, too. This is an election year, obviously. Big policy change in an election year. Does this play into that at all?
Yeah, 100%. Let me answer that question by telling you about a conversation I had yesterday with a young, undocumented community organizer in Nevada who is facing up to the task of getting people to go out and vote for Joe Biden in November, has been having a lot of trouble in her very mixed status Latino community in North Las Vegas, because people have been thinking, like, my life hasn't improved meaningfully under the Biden administration. In fact, it's gotten harder in some ways. She was saying kind of, what can we do? What can the administration do to help people's lives? Her mother can potentially apply for this program. And she has a brother who's a U.S. citizen, who was born in the U.S., who is a voter, who's been very on the fence about voting for Biden and is now much more likely to vote for Biden than he was 2 days ago. That is potentially, and I think what the White House hopes, the very direct political consequences of this move. There is an entire population that will be mobilized to the polls as a direct result of this. Again, that's the hope. Whether it bears out in November, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it seems like there's a big question mark on what the future of this is, and that is going to happen in November. David, thank you so much.
You got it.
And pop star Justin Timberlake spent 9 hours in jail last night after being arrested for allegedly driving while intoxicated. Here's his mugshot, courtesy of the Sag Harbor Police Department up in the Hamptons in New York. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin has the latest.
Tonight, Justin Timberlake arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated. According to the Suffolk County District Attorney, he pleaded not guilty and was released. The singer was photographed by the DailyMail.com in handcuffs, heading to court today in Sag Harbor, a ritzy beach community on eastern Long Island. A source close to Timberlake tells NBC News last night the 43-year-old had dinner at the exclusive American Hotel. He was driving a 2025 BMW to a friend's house after midnight when, according to court documents, he failed to stop at this stop sign and swerved in 2 different places. Police pulled him over. The officer determined Timberlake was intoxicated, writing, "His eyes were bloodshot and glassy. A strong odor of an alcoholic beverage was emanating from his breath. He had slowed speech, and he performed poorly on all standardized field sobriety tests." According to the documents, Timberlake told the officer, "I had 1 martini and I followed my friends home." He was arrested and brought to police headquarters where he stayed overnight, having refused a chemical test to determine his blood alcohol levels 3 times. NBC News reached out to Timberlake's representatives and has yet to hear back. The performer was in Sag Harbor on a break from his world tour promoting his new album. The legendary Billy Joel, who had lunch at the same hotel today, reacting to Timberlake's arrest.
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Timberlake's next concert is on Friday in Chicago. He's also scheduled for a virtual court date in late July. Gadi.
Aaron, thank you. And don't go anywhere. We are just getting started. Up next, the man who survived a shark attack this month in California speaks out. We're going to have more on his warning to beachgoers this summer. Plus, are aliens living among us? A new study or a paper from Harvard says, yeah, they could be. And we're going to break it all down with one of our favorite Harvard professors, Avi Loeb, see what he thinks about it. And saving sea turtles. Volunteers in South Carolina are on the lookout for sea turtle nests so they can protect those eggs and learn more about the turtles themselves. NBC's Gary Grumbach was on the beach for one of those rescue missions, and he'll tell us all about it a little bit later this hour.
Basically, humans are the main reason that they're under threat from a conservation perspective. So I feel like we have a moral obligation to try to do what we can to try to right some of the wrongs that have put them in the predicament they're in.
Hey, welcome back. Tensions on Capitol Hill as Boeing CEO faces tough questions. That's just ahead, but first, here are some other headlines we're watching tonight. A USC student arrested in the death of a man who police say was breaking into cars on the university's Greek Row. Police say Ivan Gallegos confronted that person last night, then stabbed him multiple times. There are reports that the man who died was homeless. Now, this is being investigated as a homicide, but charges still haven't been filed. Gallegos is being held on a $2 million bond. And a Florida McDonald's descended into chaos after an argument turned violent. Surveillance video shows how it all went down. You see an employee arguing with 2 customers, then throwing a cup out the drive-through window. The customers end up throwing drinks back, and then afterwards you see the employee come back with a gun as the customers drive away. A second video shows a woman walk outside, then fire at the customer's car. Police say the car was hit at least once. The Mickey D's worker has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And the Murdaugh family saga continues in court. Alec Murdaugh's oldest son, Buster, filing a massive defamation lawsuit against multiple media groups, including Warner Brothers and Netflix. The allegations center around documentaries and articles that were published that Murdaugh says falsely accuse him and link him to the death of Stephen Smith, who was killed in 2015. And earlier today, 911 was down for nearly 2 hours in Massachusetts. Police in Boston warned people to pull these red fire boxes if there was an emergency, and state officials say the system is back up and running, and an investigation is underway to figure out what happened. And make it 18 titles for the Celtics. Boston beat Dallas last night to win the 2024 NBA Finals 4-1. The franchise now stands alone with the most championships in a league history. Fans quickly swarmed outside to celebrate. Just a preview of the massive crowd to come for that parade this Friday. And yes, there will be duck boats. And the CEO of Boeing facing a whole lot of questions on Capitol Hill today, trying to address the growing list of issues plaguing his company and the whistleblower complaints that have followed.
Our culture is far from perfect, but we are taking action and we are making progress. We understand the gravity, and we're committed to moving forward with transparency and accountability while elevating employee engagement every step of the way.
NBC's Tom Costello has more.
Met by chants of shame as he entered the hearing room, Boeing CEO David Calhoun quickly apologized to the families of those who died in 2 MAX 8 crashes overseas.
I apologize for the grief that we have caused.
And promised Boeing is changing.
Our culture is far from perfect, but we are taking action and we are making progress.
But Calhoun came under immediate bipartisan fire.
This hearing is a moment of reckoning.
For the MAX 8 crashes, the MAX 9 door plug blowout in January, quality control breakdowns, defective parts, and whistleblower reports of falsified documents, intimidation, and retaliation.
It appears that Boeing has fostered a culture that censors people who try to speak up and help.
You're the problem. And I just hope to God that you don't destroy this company before it can be saved.
Today, a new whistleblower claims Boeing's 737 MAX assembly line lost hundreds of parts that did not meet Boeing specs, which he claims were hidden from FAA inspectors and may have ended up in planes, and that it could lead to a catastrophic event.
I have not directly spoken to any of the whistleblowers.
Do you think that'd be a good idea to do that?
Yeah, I think it would.
Many family members remain furious at a previous Justice Department agreement allowing Boeing and its execs to avoid criminal prosecution after the fatal crashes. But Justice now says Boeing has violated that agreement. Nadia Milleron lost her daughter, Samia Stumo.
He is responsible for 346 deaths, and he's free, and he has no criminal charges against him at all.
Zipporah Curia lost her father.
I've never seen worse acting in my life than David Calhoun's apologies or attempt to apologize.
Prosecutors have until July 7th to decide whether to criminally charge Boeing and any corporate executive. But Boeing is critical to the national economy, the space program, and national defense. So the government has a lot to weigh in deciding whether to file charges. Gadi?
Now, as insane as it may sound, it looks like a Harvard paper by social science researchers raised some pretty far out there possibilities that could explain the whole UAP stuff that I have become very obsessed with. They're posing 4 possibilities, like maybe crypto-terrestrials or like this secret advanced civilization that's been hiding somewhere here on Earth, or even maybe the moon where we can't see them, or maybe humans from the future are visiting us, or maybe like magical beings like fairies or angels are real. Now, has this paper been peer-reviewed? No. Looks like the original link doesn't work anymore either, but those headlines traveled the world anyway. So what the heck is going on? Well, we are lucky enough to be joined by the one and only Harvard academic and astrophysicist who we've been talking to about UAP issues for years, Harvard University professor of science and astronomy, Avi Loeb. Professor, thanks so much for being with us. And as soon as I saw the headlines on this paper, I ran to this paper, I scanned, I did not see your name attached there. So I do have to say, though, whether you had anything to do with this or not, you have been, in my eyes, one of the first academics, Ivy League academics, that has taken the idea of extraterrestrials very seriously and discussed it. I'm not sure what kind of Pandora's box you opened, but when it comes to this paper, I got to ask, what do you think about your peers, what they're writing over at Harvard there?
Well, thanks for having me. Indeed, I think that it's arrogant of us to think that we are the only ones out there. There might be much more advanced civilizations, because we came late to the game, and most stars from billions of years before the sun, and a quarter of them have planets the size of the Earth, roughly at the same separation. So it would be really pretentious of us to assume that Albert Einstein was the smartest scientist who ever lived since the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. Nevertheless, science is all about evidence. We should be humble and accept the data as a guide towards what's out there. And there is no evidence supporting the claims in this paper. And obviously, over the millennia, people came up with a lot of ideas about what might be out there. However, without the data, we cannot proceed. And there are many more possibilities than the one realized in nature. And to find out what's out there, we just need to use instruments, look out, and check the evidence.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you're saying that if you were peer reviewing this paper, it would get a big red, where is the evidence on it?
Exactly. Okay. And it's very easy to come up with ideas, much more difficult to come up with materials from interstellar space. So I'm actually pursuing the latter.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the last time we checked in with you, I think you had just gotten back from an ocean expedition in the middle of the Pacific, I believe, or in the middle of the ocean, looking for like the tiniest little fragments of what you thought might be an interstellar probe, or a probe from, another civilization, potentially. Like, what's the latest with the material evidence there?
This object was discovered as a meteor. It exploded over the Pacific Ocean. The fireball that released a few percent of the Hiroshima atomic bomb energy was detected by sensors aboard the US government satellites, and they pinpointed the location. Based on that region that the Department of Defense provided us with, we went there and we put a sled with magnets on the ocean floor, going back and forth 26 times, and we collected spherules. These are molten droplets from the explosion of a meteor, and 10% of those showed a chemical composition that was never reported before in the scientific literature, does not resemble what we find on Earth, Mars, the Moon, or any other solar system material that we are familiar with. And so our inclination is that it came from outside the solar system. The evidence that the meteor itself came from outside the solar system was that it was moving faster than 95% of the stars outside the solar system. It was very fast, and moreover, it disintegrated only in the lower atmosphere, so it was tougher than all meteors previously reported by NASA. And therefore, we are presently planning another expedition to find bigger fragments, bigger pieces among the wreckage of this meteor, and figure out whether it was natural or artificial. Because if you just take your laptop and put it in a fireplace, you will get it burned up, and the droplets will not tell you whether it was technological. However, if you find pieces from the screen, you can tell that it's technological. And so, if we find that a piece of a technological gadget and it has buttons on it, the question is, should we press a button?
Now, you keep saying meteor, right?
Yes.
Is the evidence leading to a natural meteor right now, or is it leading towards this possible, object that may be artificial?
What we know is that the unusual droplets that we found have an abundance of elements like beryllium, lanthanum, uranium that is up to 1,000 times more than solar system materials. However, we cannot tell whether it was natural in origin or not. I wrote a paper suggesting a natural origin. Most of the stars in the Milky Way galaxy are dwarf stars, 1/10 of the mass of the sun. If you bring a planet like the Earth close to one of them, the planet will get spaghettified, ripped apart into a stream of rocks, and they would be ejected, half of them would be ejected from that system at a speed similar to the one we noticed for this meteor, and the composition will be different because the rock will be molten when the planet comes close to its host star. So this is a natural origin, but we don't know for sure. And there is a chance we would find the core of the object, and then we can tell very easily whether it's a rock or some probe. And even if it's a rock, it will tell us something about our neighbor's yard that we've never known before. And among all the rocks that are floating out there, there might be technological trash, space trash. For example, Elon Musk launched in 2018 his Tesla Roadster car. Yeah. And this car, the calculations show that within 20 million years, it has a good chance of colliding with Earth and burning up in the Earth's atmosphere. Obviously, my colleagues would argue when seeing that, if they are not alerted to the fact that it's a car, they would say it's a rock of a type that we've never seen before.
Not a car, not a roadster.
And all I'm saying is...
There's no roads anymore.
All I'm saying is that Elon Musk may not be the most accomplished space entrepreneur. There might be lots of interstellar cars, some of which may collide with Earth.
I love it. The possibility of an alien roadster that may have crashed into Earth. If anyone can find those needles in the haystack, that's you. Avi Loeb, thank you so very much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And coming up, a serious alert about shellfish, oysters, and clams from part of the Pacific Northwest flagged for containing toxins. We've got an expert to weigh in. But first, you got to see this. Imagine you were hiking in the Las Vegas desert and you come across one of these. That's what happened to police over the weekend. The department's search and rescue team found this weird metal slab in the mountains, posted it on social media where it went viral. Now, those are the same structures that were popping up all over the world during the pandemic. One found in Utah back in 2020, and it looks like they might be making a comeback. People can't stop speculating about how they got there, who's behind it. They do kind of look like a Cybertruck, but maybe aliens? I don't know. I hope so. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, and we're going to hear from a shark attack survivor here in California in just a minute. But first, here are the stories that are happening out west that we're following. A U.S. Secret Service agent was robbed at gunpoint just outside of L.A. while President Biden was here for a fundraising event. Now, according to the Secret Service, the agent was coming home from work this weekend when he was robbed in a neighborhood. Police say the agent fired his weapon during that robbery, but it's unclear if anyone was hit. There have been no arrests so far. And today, the LA School Board approved a strict student cell phone ban that will last all day on school campuses, including lunches and breaks. They're saying phones distract students, lead to anxiety, and make space for cyberbullying. Now, that ban would take effect in January after the details are approved. Some parents are concerned about their kids not having a phone at school, especially when it comes to mass shootings and police brutality. Other parents support the ban because they think it'll be better for their kids' mental health and ability to learn. Now, I-5 north in Portland has been shut down today after a trailer carrying over 120 propane tanks caught fire early this morning. Now, that fire severely damaged the road, which needs emergency repairs, and there is no estimate yet on when the highway will be back open. And ocean swimmers, keep your head on a swivel on both coasts, really, because a man who recently went swimming in Del Mar, California, is just one of many who have been attacked and is speaking out about the shark attack he survived earlier this month. Here's how he describes it all going down. Beachgoers are soaking up the sun and surf as summer gets underway. But beware, new warnings about the dangers of sharks under the water's surface. Caleb Adams bears the scars from his close encounter.
I yelled help and shark, just two clear words.
Caleb was in the waters of Del Mar, California, with 18 members of an open water swim group.
It was a strong hit to my body. I knew I had been hit by a shark, and I tussled with the animal for what was seconds.
Swim buddy Kevin Barrett heard him yelling for help.
You know that's a real scream.
On the second time I struck the animal and I felt a softer tissue, I'm going to speculate that that was inside the shark's mouth. And I had several cuts on my hand and wrist.
The shark disappeared by the time Kevin got there.
When I was swimming him in, the blood was just pouring out of his chest. We really just needed to get him in shore as quickly as possible.
Lifeguard Cameron Whiting helped get Caleb onto the beach.
We could really see the traumatic extent of his injuries, and it was not pretty. Cameron kept his hand under Caleb's chin. He just said, just don't look down. Caleb was amazingly calm.
Caleb was rushed into surgery, his entire torso a roadmap of shark bites and stitches. Experts say attacks like the one Caleb survived may become more frequent as waters get crowded this summer.
It is very much a wild environment anytime you're entering the ocean.
Though still extremely rare, last year saw an uptick in unprovoked shark attacks and fatalities. The U.S. had 36 unprovoked attacks in 2023, accounting for more than half of the 69 incidents across the globe. Florida leading the nation in attacks. Just this month, 3 swimmers off the Florida Panhandle were attacked by sharks in a single day. But West Coast beaches are also a hotspot. In California, barely 2 weeks after the shark attack, Caleb has returned to the same beach with his wife, Ginny.
It's emotional being here, without question.
Reflecting on those who stepped in to help.
I have a beautiful community to lean on, and I'm very thankful.
And some breaking news on our top story tonight. Major wildfires in New Mexico. The governor's office confirms one person has died as a result of those fires, which are still burning right now. It is unclear if it was in the area near the South Fork fire or the Salt fire, but we told you earlier, neither one of those fires are anywhere close to being contained, leading to a state of emergency and evacuation orders for the entire village of Ruidoso. Now, the South Fork fire has burned more than 15,000 acres so far. About 500 structures have been either destroyed or partially burned, and we're going to keep monitoring this situation and bring you updates as we get them. Meanwhile, West Coast seafood lovers, this next story is not great because there's a problem with a bunch of shellfish that have this toxin that can be dangerous if you eat a whole lot of it. And it might be happening because of a microscopic kind of plankton that all of a sudden is seeing this massive population explosion taking over parts of the Pacific Northwest, poisoning the shellfish that feed on them, and then in some cases, poisoning the humans that order those shellfish for dinner. And to give us a better idea of what's going on, let's bring in Dr. Vera Trainer. She is the Marine Program Director and a research scientist at the University of Washington. Dr. Trainer, thank you so much for being with us. Is this natural? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah, so this is a naturally occurring plankton, a microscopic organism that is food for clams and oysters and other shellfish. And this May, over Memorial Day weekend, we had an abundance of an organism called Alexandrium, which can produce a toxin that then gets concentrated in the shellfish, which then become dangerous for us to eat. And over 31 people in Oregon became sick.
Are there any safeguards in place to keep people from getting sick when something like this happens?
Oh, absolutely. All of the shellfish that you purchase from the market are safe. But these were people who went to the beaches and they gathered shellfish for recreational purposes, just for their home purposes. And this harmful algal bloom, these toxic plankton, they appeared very suddenly in the water. The health department had been sampling 1 week, and then they were toxic the very next week.
Huh. And it is, when we're talking about how rare this is there a way to restore a natural balance here, or could this impact some of the commercially farmed shellfish that we're seeing down the road?
Yeah, I mean, it has impacted commercial shellfish. So Willapa Bay oysters was closed for a while. This is a naturally occurring phenomenon. And, our best guess is that the window of opportunity for the growth of this organism is increasing, partially due to climate change. And really the best we can do is learn to live with these blooms. So the health departments and the departments of Fish and Wildlife are out there monitoring the shellfish. They're looking at the plankton in the water to hopefully provide an early enough warning to make this shellfish gathering safe. But this particular bloom was widespread in Washington and Oregon, and it occurred very suddenly. In Washington, we had the plankton specialist who alerted us to the bloom, but Oregon, they were in a hiatus. They were in a bit of a break where they were hiring a new specialist. So that person looking at the water wasn't there that week, unfortunately. So then those people became sick.
Wow. It's such a reminder of how quick something like this could happen. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Speaking of sea life, volunteers in South Carolina are waking up at the break of dawn to protect sea turtles and their nests. But it's what's happening after these adorable turtles leave the shore and enter the ocean that might hold the key to this species' survival. NBC's Gary Grumbach has more.
Before the sun rises over Hilton Head Island, the Sea Turtle Patrol is on the sand.
We had a report that there is a sea turtle still on the beach, and we might get a glimpse of it.
Let's go check it out?
Yeah, let's go see.
Excellent.
Let's approach her from behind.
Okay.
She can see us and she can hear us, so I don't want to disturb her. Those are her back flippers. And what she's doing right now is she's disguising her nest. They're so instinctual. She knows we're here.
Yeah.
But she's going to do it anyway.
Sure. The process of finding nests usually isn't this easy.
I go in with my hands until I find the nest chamber. I'm pretty sure, yep, got it. So here's the first egg.
Wow. The careful work of these volunteers allows for one egg to be used for research and the rest to be relocated far from the ocean's edge, allowing them to hatch in peace. This sea turtle's mom swam hundreds of miles to get to this beach, but this egg's journey is just beginning. The egg then comes here to this University of Georgia lab where researchers spend hours learning everything there is to know about where this little guy comes from. For the past 20 years, UGA research scientist Dr. Brian Shamblin has been working to extract DNA from thousands of sea turtle eggs.
We're getting to that point where a single egg can tell us who mom is, who dad is, and with that yolk, possibly where mom has been spending most of her time.
Knowing what sea turtles do after leaving the shores of the Carolinas is crucial for Shamblin's research. That kind of information key to the entire species' survival.
The better we understand their life cycle and the demographics behind that, how many individuals and how many offspring they're having, the better the managers are able to understand how emerging threats may impact the population.
And it's those threats that has Shamblin worried.
We're concerned about things like climate change, plastics, microplastics that are out there being ingested and how that may impact the turtles.
Taylor Faraday is a master's student at UGA.
Does she have daughters? Does she have sisters? And so it's so cool to be able to take this nest that we've just, numbered 100 and whatever, and then all of a sudden, this is actually a mom, and this is her story, and we're able to learn a lot about her and how many times has she been nesting, and when did she start, and hopefully she'll do it for many seasons.
It's the hope of Shamblin that teams in the lab and on the beach get to do this research for many seasons.
There's a lot of need out there. The policymakers, the managers, they're seeing other areas where they need to divert that funding because those species are in worse shape. And so we've been having to rely more on donations and private funding to try to keep this project going.
Back in Hilton Head, volunteers on the beach take it all in.
When you see them in the water, you're just like, oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Love at first sight.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They've been around for millions of years, and basically humans are the main reason that they're under threat from a conservation perspective. So I feel like we have a moral obligation to try to do what we can to try to right some of the wrongs that have put them in the predicament they're in.
Wow. Let's bring in Gary Grumbach to talk a little bit more about these amazing sea creatures. So, Gary, Dr. Shamblin was just talking there about the moral obligation to help the sea turtles out. What exactly does that look like?
Well, it means everyone has to do their part, and that does include us. It means if you're on a beach this summer, if you're at a house on a beach where sea turtles end up nesting, to turn off all your beach-facing lights at 10 p.m. Now, it's not because these advocates hate fun and hate late-night parties, but it's because it really helps the sea turtles out, because after they nest, they look towards the brightest light. And advocates need the light to be the light of the moon reflecting off the ocean, not the light from the nearest hotel near a main roadway. The other big point they say is after you're finished having fun digging holes in the sand, fill those holes back in so the sea turtles on their way to and from the ocean don't get stuck and end up nesting in the wrong place. Gadi?
The little things and just the idea of the moon being the beacon for sea turtles. Incredible. Gary, thank you so much for that story. And still ahead, we are keeping an eye on a produce problem that could change your avocado toast plans, why we might see less guacamole on store shelves. That's coming up, so stay tuned. Hey there, welcome back. Let's take a quick look around the world. Vladimir Putin is on a rare visit to North Korea. The Russian president landed there earlier, met by leader Kim Jong-un. Streets in the capital were decorated with Russian flags and portraits of Putin. Two countries are working closely as the U.S. has intensified sanctions, and there's growing concerns about an arms deal between the two. Today's visit is Putin's first there in 24 years. And Ukraine is rejecting the idea of peace with Russia. This comes as Russian forces are pushing forward while Vladimir Putin outlined demands to start peace talks last week. Ukraine's president rejected what he called an ultimatum to give up part of the country territory. U.S. support has been renewed there in recent weeks as Ukrainian forces are using American tanks now on the front lines. And legendary actor Ian McKellen took a tumble during a performance in London. The 85-year-old actually fell off the stage at a theater during a production of Player Kings. He was apparently crying out in pain before help rushed onto the stage, and he was taken to the hospital. He's recovering, and he's expected to return to the stage tomorrow. And the guac might be getting a lot more extra soon because some avocado and mango shipments from Mexico to the United States are shut down right now. It's after some security concerns in a certain state that's known for gang violence. The USDA suspended inspections from that area after a security incident, and it's not clear exactly what happened, but we do know that the region is usually the biggest exporter of avocados in all of Mexico. Meanwhile, over in China, we're taking another look at the other side of the country's massive production of electric cars, the side where we find the exponential growth is being driven by one of the country's poorest and smallest areas. CNBC's Beijing Bureau Chief Eunice Yoon has the details.
If you're interested in a Chinese EV, you might want to visit Liuzhou in China's southwest.
This city of 4 million people in the province of Guangxi brands itself as an EV capital, and for good reason.
Liuzhou last year produced almost 500,000 electric vehicles of all types. Some were made at this Wuling New Energy Factory managed by 30-year auto veteran Yu Hongqiao. Liuzhou is very competitive as a city for new energy vehicle manufacturing, he says. First, the cost of manpower is very low. Second, the logistics cost is low. Third, the industrial foundation is there. Liuzhou is home to 5 major state-backed car makers, including Wuling's parent, Guangxi Auto.
We're on our way to another automaker, Ichi. It's famous for making a car that's used by the government elite, called the Hongqi. About a mile away is another company making EVs, Dongfeng Liuzhou Motor.
And SAIC, whose joint venture with GM and Guangxi Auto produces a popular $4,000 EV.
A lot of the supply chain is here, too. This town has about 300 EV suppliers.
Liuzhou's stated aim has been to produce more than 3 million EVs a year by 2025, but it's fallen short. Data from Japanese auto research firm Marklines shows the city's factories could have the capacity to produce roughly 3 times as many EVs as they currently are. Liuzhou hopes to rev up exports, now at 1% of production. Yu's company set up an overseas department last month, despite international criticism of China's overcapacity. It's groundless, he says. If your cost is low thanks to your scale and your price is more competitive, anyone can compete, right?
China's Detroit for EVs. Before we go, it is time for the future of everything, a look inside of a place no one has seen for nearly 2,000 years. Why this newly uncovered room in the ruins of Pompeii is so special. It's the future of understanding the past. Coming up next. And finally tonight, in the future of everything, unwrapping the past. An archaeologist is using new technology to discover treasures from the ancient city of Pompeii. And NBC News international correspondent Kelly Kobiea gives us an exclusive look into these discoveries.
In the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, the old Roman city of Pompeii, preserved in volcanic ash and rock for centuries. Are we on a Roman road yet?
We're making a journey of about 2,000 years. And now we are almost down at the Roman level.
Now, the biggest dig in a generation has unearthed breathtaking scenes from the past. Oh, wow. This is the Blue Room?
It's a very special thing.
It's so vibrant. Oh, it's stunning. NBC News getting an exclusive look at this ornately decorated shrine, as it was nearly 2,000 years ago. Female figures representing the 4 seasons.
It has this very heavenly atmosphere.
But most puzzling of all, this significant find, an old pigment known as Egyptian blue covering the walls. Why is blue so important in here?
Well, blue was the most expensive color. It was difficult to make.
These MIT students already on site to study the new finds.
So this room in particular is a stunning example of Egyptian blue, and it's really rare to see high quantities in one concentrated area.
Analyzing this rare, ancient color with state-of-the-art technology.
We're using these goggles that were recently developed that are modified night vision goggles. They use a technology called visible induced luminescence. So basically, Egyptian blue glows or fluoresces under near-infrared light.
The revelation giving research teams an opportunity to connect the dots. On the Blue Room's floor, a row of clay jugs and oyster shells used for plaster, exactly as builders left them that fateful day in 79 AD.
Something strange started happening at Mount Vesuvius, and you could hear big bangs, and it starts raining these pumice stones.
This space and the entire city was buried in volcanic rock and ash from the devastating eruption and frozen in time. Bakers and artists, builders and merchants, more than 20,000 people lived here. This was a big, wealthy, thriving city. Entire rooms, like this newly discovered banquet hall, decorated with mythical figures like the beautiful Helen of Troy, revealing the sophistication and elegance of the Pompeians. The new discoveries offering new clues about how those people lived, carefully examining the missing links.
Seeing something for the first time in almost 2,000 years.
2,000 years ago, somebody looked at it for the last time, and now we who excavated are the first ones to look at it again.
A third of Pompeii is still buried, and finding the artifacts is only the first step. These fragments, part of a magnificent ceiling crushed under the weight of volcanic rock.
It's nice that these things remain mysteries. There's always intrigue, but I think that's what keeps Pompeii alive.
Always a massive jigsaw puzzle.
Absolutely, yeah.
We were given an up-close look.
This is the little bedroom. When this room was first uncovered, and we thought that was amazing. We had no idea of what we were going to come down onto.
Frescoes from the ceiling to the floor, and this intriguing image of a boy and his dog.
This is unique.
Around the corner, another surprise. Charcoal drawings made by children, a hunting scene, a boxing match, and from children just 4 or 5.
Little hands.
You can kind of hear the little giggles of the children.
It's like a hand reaching out from the past.
Precisely.
Pompeii showing its flair in its fractured new form. The past slowly re-emerging, piece by piece. Kelly Kobiella, NBC News, Pompeii.
Emerging with a new color, Egyptian blue, something to think about tonight. That does it for us tonight. I'm Gadi Schwartz. We'll see you here tomorrow. But until then, stay tuned now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.